Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my wonderful and juicy little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious, and that life is treating you most deliciously wherever you are in the world. Right, well, it's pouring down with rain in our old England, Mardelistic babies. It's nearly 2:30 in the old afternoon, Mardelistic babies in old England. I can only hope that wherever you are in the world, whether it be in England or anywhere else, that you are having a better day than ourselves, Mardelistic babies, okay? Anyway, but it's still warm. So it's still warm, okay, Mardelistic babies, Nadim? So, so I went to bed, didn't I, Mardelistic babies? Because, my spirit won't rest, That's why I did the video that I did. Okay, so I wasn't shouting at any of yourselves, Mardelistic babies, okay? It's just that I'm getting really peed off. Do you know what I mean, Mardelistic babies? And sometimes I just cannot hold it in. I found it very, very difficult to do that, Mardelistic babies, and neither do I want to hold it in because I'm not going to make myself ill through it. Do you know what I mean, Mardelistic babies, okay? But ones, there we are, need to see, the true extent of what is going on, Mardelistic babies, in our world. And that reminds me, so if you could please, that doesn't mean no, if you could please go on to our lovely davidark.com, Mardelistic babies, and what you would be looking for, should anybody have any form of an interest, is it should read their agenda. Okay, Mardelistic babies, it's a very, very excellent, well put together documentary, Mardelistic babies, okay? So please, just a little bit of time out of your day or night. That's all I ask, Mardelistic babies. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all I ask. Okay, there we are. This is extremely serious. What is going on in the world, Mardelistic babies, okay? And we need to, there we are, push back. There we are against this, Mardelistic babies. You see what I mean? So 3, 2, 1, my juice, little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright. And thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, and for the occasional comments. It's so very much welcomed, okay? For the majority of the time, for 98%, I'd say, I'm usually, super duper and deliciously upbeat and happy, okay? But when I get peed off, I cannot help it. And I'm certainly not one who walks around silently. If you could hear me when I'm in my home, Mardelistic babies, okay? Sometimes I'm flipping, when the mood takes me, there we are, I'm flipping screaming at the top of me flipping voice, Mardelistic babies. Do you know what I mean? It's, you know what it is? I'm just frustrated. Do you know what I mean? I just feel really frustrated. Do you know what I mean? Because, you got ones who are trying to do something, there we are, about this, okay? And then on the other hand, you've got others just having damn well flipping mothers' meetings and F all is getting done. Do you see what I mean, Mardelistic babies? Yes. I mean, I was listening to, the other day, I forgot to tell you this, I was listening to 2 doctors. I'm not going to advertise them. Okay, Mardelistic babies, okay? But you will know of one who was, years ago, he was on the television, Mardelistic babies, okay? And anyway, he seemed to be bigging up, what's his name? R.F. Kennedy, whatever his flipping damn well name is. Okay, Mardelistic babies, so he's bigging him up, right? So has that doctor, there we are, not learned a thing now? Do you see what I mean? This is what this is all about. And it's all about all, mixing shoulders, rub, 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 rub. Do you know what I mean? With ones who are rich and famous, Mardelistic babies, okay? He seems to appear to be sort of drifting off what he should really be talking about, Mardelistic babies. Do you see what I mean? That's what I'm saying. This is there we are, my frustrations. But like I said, I'm not shouting at yourselves, Mardelistic babies. I would never do that. Do you see what I mean? But we have to see, there we are, how serious this is. And they do, and they're straight out, there we are, in everybody's birth races, how they want to depopulate our planet, Mardelistic babies, okay? This is damn flipping rank, man. What they're doing, Mardelistic babies, do you know what I mean? But the thing is, they fail You know, unless you go onto these sites or you listen to certain videos or so forth, or, you know, like I go, you know what I mean, for some information there we are that I need. Do you see what I mean? Okay. But the point of the matter is, in all of this, they're not on the television. So they do the effing programming with a box in the corner of the room, but they fail to mention all of this. There we are. Martelish little babies. Do you see what I mean? Yes. Okay, so if more knew, bless them, okay, because I will say that, because for many, they just do not know, okay, but if more did know, right, and they had a say in how they wanted, there we are, to live their lives and how they wanted their little families, bless, you know, whether they've got younger bairns, adolescents, or adults. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is, to have that choice, there we are, of doing so, of how they wish to live their lives. But these want to run our lives, and they've already been done saying it to make us redundant. Okay, mardelistic babies, they bring these poxy, silly, flipping robots in, mardelistic babies. Oh, right, okay. Well, so they want to be in everybody's flipping household, you know, doing the flipping, washing up with a flipping pinny man. Do you know what I mean, mardelistic babies? These are flipping, you know, I've no idea what's going through their flipping noddles, man. Do you know what I mean? But if one's new, for who very sadly do not know, do you know what I mean? Then I'm telling you now, it would be, there we are, a very different, there we are, situation indeed, because you'd find for everybody, they'd say no. You know, who wants to live that life? You know, like on a social credit system, mardellish little babies, do you know what I mean? Where you cannot eat, I'm going to repeat it again, you cannot eat your dairy, you know, which is extremely good for our bodies. You won't be able to eat, you know, for those, bless who, you know, they eat meat, you know, or for ones who, like myself, eat fish. You know what I mean? So you won't be able to do that. So these dictating to us what we can and cannot eat. I mean, at one point, Martin babies, Kai, because it was all put down, to rent our clothes. The effing jerkers, man. There we are, the effing jerkers, man. Do you know what I mean, Martin babies, Kai? You should be able to be free, do forgive me, you know, stumbled there, not going to change my video. You should be able to be free to go where you want, not to be told that you cannot drive a car or go on your holiday, you know, because for many families, there we are, they absolutely, there we are, adore their family, you know, their family time as a family, going on their holidays. Do you see what I mean? They work all damn year to be flipping slaving driven. You know what I mean? With ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching that's been printed, you know, but you see, but what it is, they want to get rid of that. And of course, you know, they want everybody still to be enslaved. Do you know what I mean? But they want to get rid of the ka-ching, 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 you see what I mean? Because they cannot see what you're spending now. This is why I say that as much as what we can, there we are, we use ka-ching, pounds, shilling, pence, dollars, and change, my delicious babies. Do you know what I mean? Usually I do not have any problem saying those words, my delicious babies, Kai. But no, you know, they want us to have the most awful and putrid, dark laugh. There we are. This is how bad it is, my delicious babies, do you know what I mean? And I keep talking about it, till I'm flipping blue in the birch race, my delicious babies, do you know what I mean? But, of course, the answer that I get, and it's so sad. It's so sad that mankind has had to come to this point. Okay, Marzish babies, I'm not going to say everybody because there are a lot who are speaking up, bless them, do you know what I mean? And especially, you know, like in professional jobs and everything, okay, Mardish little babies who, there we are trying to do something, there we are, about this Mardish little babies. It's all right, I'm really boiling hot right now, you can probably see, okay, but I'm flipping, I'm sweating. I love little piggies, it's figure of speech, Mardish little babies, but I'm sweating like a PRG, do you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm just very hot at this moment in time, but because it's very like muggy, do you know what I mean? Anyway, Mardish babies, but the point of the matter is this, is that for the ones who are trying to do something about this, okay, it's a case of getting others, there we are, to see, but very sadly, whoever I speak to, it is the same words. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. It every single time. And I says, but there is something we can do about it. So when I, clearly make a suggestion now, so, well, there is something we can do. Most important word in a dictionary. No, 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 no. Do you see what I mean, Madlish babies, Kai? So if enough said no, there doesn't have to be any sort of other problem. Just say no. But of course, and like that, what is he? That flipping, because I'm not going to swear today, Madlish babies, okay? I've got it all out yesterday evening, okay? But I wasn't swearing at yourselves, Madlish babies, okay? That PRRCK, this WEF or whatever it is, okay? You know who he is because he looks like a cartoon COCK, Mads babies. You know who he is. And, he just wants, mankind, just to be dumbed down, do you know what I mean, okay, on video games, taking drugs and everything, do you know what I mean, okay? And what's worse about this Marslish babies is he flipping smiles about it, the putrid little cretin. You know what I mean, Marslish babies, okay? Oh, and then you got, what is his name? Flipping putrid Bill Gates. Oh, he's been sued around the world, isn't he, Marslish babies? Anyway, it wasn't so many years ago that India booted him out. Didn't want his presence in their country, Marslish babies. Well, who could blame them? After the damage that the damn man caused, he's another little effing cretin man. Do you see what I mean, Marslish babies? Yes. Okay. No. We just say no. We were born free. There we are. We're born free. That's how we should be. Do you see what I mean, Marslish babies? Okay. Not telling us what we can do and what we cannot do. We're not flipping 5-year-old. Do you know what I mean, Marslish babies? But that's how they're treating us. And it's just, oh. Anyway, Marslish babies, so there's no videos today apart from what I've just said. It's very super duper important. Okay, Marslish babies, please and thank you. Just please take a listen. I know that, it sounds very depressing. Well, it is depressing because if they were to get away with it, Marslish babies, let me tell you, you'd have a flipping planet of depression. Okay, Marslish babies, okay? So they're not going to get that far. And this is why I just feel that they keep doing what they're doing. Do you see what I mean, okay? In the hope that ones are going to warm to it, Marslish babies. Well, I'm not flipping damn well warming to nothing, Marslish babies, okay? I'm quite fine, there we are, the way that I am. Do you understand what I mean, Marslish babies, okay? We've got our beautiful greenery, we've got our beautiful nature, we've got everything. We've got our beautiful little babies who we call our sons and daughters, and little and large birdies and little and large animals, in our country and all over the world. So beautiful. Do you understand what I mean, okay? And then these come along and all I want to do is flipping F everything up now for everybody. What, so they despise us that much? But they didn't mind using us all over the world, did the Marslish babies, for our talents, for our creativity, for everything as mankind? Do you see what I mean? Okay, then they just decide when they want to just flick a switch, you know what I mean? And that we've got to eat flipping mealworms and flipping insects, Marslish babies. Well, our bodies were never designed for that, Marslish babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay, but try telling that to them. Anyway, they've already been doing this long time. And I used to get my beautiful little Rib Tuesday. I used to get her, these dentist sticks. But they're looking like plastic, Marslish babies. And guess what? She's turning her nose up. She won't have them. Do you see what I mean? But they've already been putting, like insect powder and everything. They've been putting in some of the flour. I said this months and months ago, Marslish babies, do you know what I mean? Flipping damn rank, man. Make me damn sick. Anyway, Marslish babies, no. We're entitled to our view. I'm a woman with a view. I shall have my effing view, and that's my view. Do you know what I mean? And I just so hope and pray that so many millions of others, there we are, will just please, do you know what I mean? This is extremely serious, Marslish babies. Anyway, so let's change the subject, okay? Because, I want to try and show you something today, Marslish babies, okay? But thank you for listening anyway. I know I get flipping irate sometimes and I get het up because I'm just frustrated. Well, not in that way, Marslish babies. I just get frustrated because you can see what's happening. You know, just like today, I'm out and about, and what do I see? Somebody wearing a muzzle. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, this is a level of mental health problems that we are having, and that is all the way as well from the flipping old pandemic, my delicious babies. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, so what I'm going to do, I've seen this video now. I do believe I mentioned it on my video yesterday evening, okay? I'm not going to mention it at this point, you know, to write it down at this point, okay? And the reason why is because, first of all, we want to see, there we are, if this works. Now, this involves these toothpicks, my delicious little babies. This is what this involves, okay? Now, I've got 3 lemons here. I went and got them from down the road because I've got another 5 in my fridge, my delicious babies, okay? But I didn't want to tamper with them, do you see what I mean, okay? But I thought, you know, I'll go and get, you know, and see what we can do. So I've got, well, you got 3 for a ka-ching squid, my delicious babies. So we only need 2. So I scrounged off the shopkeeper. You know, I said to him, I said, could I please have 2 of these, or could I please buy a couple of them? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, and he said, well, you can just have them, Carla. Do you understand what I mean, okay? So that's what, you know, they put the old slush, what do they call them? Slushies in. They put them in. Okay, my delicious babies. So we've got 2 of these. Okay, my delicious babies. We've got the toothpicks, like I said. We've got 2 lemons. Okay, my delicious babies. And I had to go and buy, I mean, I bought myself a orange juice, you know what I mean? But I bought a Coca-Cola. So what I'm going to do, I'll leave it there like that now. I'm going to see how it goes, but I'll save it, okay, because we can see if something's going to be happening. Okay, my delicious little babies. Or the only other alternative is maybe just to tip it down the toilet, my delicious babies. Or if somebody wants it, do you know what I mean, okay? But that's very good, actually, for cleaning the old toilet. You know, like these ones who buy these houses that need all renovations and that, and see if they've got a, you know, the toilet's still decent, my delicious babies, okay? It's just a bit dusty or whatever. Yes, I've seen them on these programs, you know, my delicious babies, and that was years ago. And what they did, in order to get, you know, the ring inside that was completely, you just couldn't get it, you know, through scrubbing it and everything. They tipped a bottle of this down the toilet, you know, and just all the way around, and left it for an hour. Just put the lid down, left it for an hour, my delicious babies, and the toilet was sparkling, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? Lemon's very good as well, anyway, my delicious babies. But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about today. We're going to try and grow something here, my delicious babies. And there's Colgate as well. Yeah, Colgate. So what the general idea is that there should be little leaves after 10 days, my delicious babies. So I was talking to me lovely dear little friend, dear little Kaz yesterday, my delicious babies, and she said, well, why don't you try it? I said, so that's what I'm going to do. I said, I'm going to wait till tomorrow, do you know, because I don't normally buy a fizzy pop, my delicious babies, so I'm going to wait till tomorrow so I can go and get, you know, a couple of these cups and that. And I already had my toothpicks, you know what I mean, and my Colgate. So this is what we do. So what we're going to do is you cut that bit off there, my delicious babies, okay? So that's one end, okay, like this. Then you cut the other end, my delicious babies, okay? Right, so that's that one done, right? So it should look like that, okay, my delicious babies, like that, okay? Now we're going to do the same with the other lemon, okay, my delicious babies. So we're just going to snip that end. We're going to snip that end. Okay, my delicious babies. So again, should look like that. Now then, we've got to open up the pop. Now, I hope it's not going to flipping go everywhere, my delicious babies, okay? Because that's flipping happened to me. Whew, straight in my bird. Straight in my delicious little babies, right? So we're not alike in that. We don't want that to happen, my delicious babies. I've just got some kitchen roll just on standby. Right, so come on. Oh. Don't fizz. Well, you know, fizz what it needs to. Right, now then, my delicious little babies. So what we're then going to do is we're going to pour the Coca-Cola. It's all in the name, my delicious little babies. Coca-Cola. Okay, my delicious little babies. And we're going to just top them up. That's so. Okay, yeah, that's about right, isn't it? A bit more. Okay, because I watched it. It's only about just over 8 minutes long, this little video, my delicious little babies, okay? So we're going to pop you over there, Coca-Cola. It's like if nobody bought Coca-Cola, you know, for about 3 or 4 days in the world, my delicious little babies, it'd soon be bankrupt, isn't it? Now then, so this is what it should look like. That's number one. And that's number two, my delicious little babies. Now what we're going to do is get the toothpick. We need 3 toothpicks in each, my delicious little babies. So we're going to put the one here like this. So that one's going to go because it's all got to be level. Okay, my delicious little babies. Just put this one here. I just want to see if it works, my delicious babies. Because when I first seen it, I thought, is this a flipping for real? You know, Coca-Cola and flipping Colgate and a lemon. My delicious little babies. I thought, I've got to see for myself if it works. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? No, because it's not that. I'd be forever curious. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? We're just going to put the last one here. So what the idea is that it will balance, okay, my delicious little babies, on top of the cup. Okay, my delicious babies, so that's the first one done. Let's just repeat the process, my delicious little babies, okay? I do try these things, you know what I mean, just to see if it works. Because, you see, of course, you've got to remember that there's a lot of these videos, is it AI? And, you know, where something looks really real, but it's not, my delicious little babies, okay? So I need to see if it works, right? And then if it does, gonna go whippy, do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? I'll be on my way to growing my little lemon trees, my delicious little babies. Now then, let's put this one here. Right, so that's that done. Now then, my delicious little babies, so we get a bit of Colgate, just a little bit. Right, so we put this bit on this bit, like that. Okay, my delicious little babies. If it works, I tell you what, I'm going to be flipping flabbergasted. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies, right? Let me tell you. If I had a stool, you know, I'd fall off it. You know what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? So that's that. So that's the Colgate. So I put the Colgate there and I put the Colgate there. You've got the, you know, the little toothpicks. Now that's going to balance it. Okay, my delicious little babies. So push it in a bit more, actually. Yeah. So now then, my delicious babies. So it looks like that. I can't really tip it much because, you know, because it's going to go everywhere. But that's how it should look. Okay, my delicious babies, that's how it should look, okay? But like I said, you've got to fill it up enough, the Coca-Cola. You've got to fill the Coca-Cola up enough, my delicious babies, okay? So that it can, you know, for the lemon. Okay, my delicious babies, so that's that one there. Just do the other one. And then after then, what I've got to do, my delicious babies, is I've got to cover them with a plastic bag, you know, because it's all plastic, my delicious babies, okay? So, you know, there we are. It does have its uses. And so that's done, okay? So that's 2 that I've done. Okay, my delicious babies, and then put that on there. Yeah, so that's balancing lovely. They're balancing deliciously, my delicious little babies, okay? Then I've got to cover them with the plastic bags, you know, so you could just use like a freezer bag or, you know, something like that, my delicious little babies. You know, the ones that you store food in, you know, like veggies and things or fruit or something, you know. And we put the lid on our toothpicks. And yeah, and that's done now, my delicious babies. Now, according to this video that I watched, what should happen is that 10 days after, and what you do is you don't tamper with them. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? So I'll put them outside, okay, because it's quite warm at the moment, my delicious babies, okay? So I put them outside, although they did say it's going to get cold, and my dear Hebba's told me, my delicious babies, okay? And then you just cover them with a plastic bag. So after 10 days, what the general idea is that here you'll be able to see like leaves sprouting out, my delicious babies. Look at that. Now we're going to see, like I said, if it works. Okay, Martin, baby, so if it does work, because it might not. Okay, I'm just trying it. Okay, you got to try it. You know, what's the old-fashioned saying, mad, you know, not in a rude way, you got to suck it and see. Martin, babies, you know what I mean? I don't mean it in a rude way, you know, okay, it's just an old-fashioned saying, figure of speech. But sorry, but what's my point? If this does work, well, this is open to question, isn't it? So, you know, because lemons, I'm sure that there are different methods of how to grow lemon trees, Martin, babies, okay, but it would be open to question. So the Coca-Cola and the Colgate is in the fruits, the vegetables. Do you see what I mean? That's what I want to see. If it works, my delicious babies, I will be looking at other videos to see if there's other methods. I'm pretty sure there are different methods, you know, that we could try. Do you see what I mean? Okay, but this will be most useful to see my delicious babies, and if it does grow, I'll bring them back and I'll show you my delicious babies. Okay, but how deliciously wonderful. But I'm not sure then what then you would do, or if you just plant it in a. So this is why I need to look at another video or another few videos to see what they would do, because they were only showing me at this point. Do you see what I mean? And then, like I said, after the 10 days, that the leaves would be sprouting out. Okay, but so I'm not sure whether I would have thought common sense. You'd have to get a plant pots or something. Do you know what I mean? And then to pop it, I would have thought it would have been something like that, but I don't know. Because you know I've never done this before, my delicious babies. Okay, you know, because we usually you know have the supermarkets, you know, to go and get our fruit and veg. You know what I mean? Unless you know you can find a farmer's shop, you know, and go and buy some wonderful there we are produce from there, my delicious babies, wherever we are in the world. Anyway, my delicious babies. So that's my video. Okay, so I will let you know how I get on with me humble lemons, my delicious babies. Okay, you never know. I could be well on my way to having flipping bunches and bunches of lemons. How delicious. I love lemons. Do you know what I mean? My delicious babies. Very good for you. Very good for your insides, okay? So until my next video, sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families all be fully protected, okay? And please have a delicious and lovely time wherever you are in the world, okay? Because life, there we are, is for living. Okay, my delicious babies, it's not to be down every day of the week. Yes, we can get peed off. Everybody can, at, you know, sometime in their lives, my delicious babies. But generally speaking, it is for living. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? You know, to be happy or to bring some form of happiness to somebody else. A simple hello. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Okay, my delicious babies. Anyway, so you just take care now. So very much love, okay? Please just do not worry, you know what I mean? I'm not flipping, you know, twisted or anything. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? Okay, I just get flipping irritated sometimes, okay? Just please, just don't worry about it, okay? Because all the other percent of the time, I'm, you know, hunky-dory, tickety-boo, okay? So much love. Thank you once again for listening. And from our beautiful little babies, who we call our little sons and daughters, and our humble little lemons, and a Coca-Cola, and a plastic cups, it is a goodbye from us all. Love ya. Goodbye.